Let's talk to Baroness Kate Hoey now, independent peer, ex-Labour MP, of course. Kate, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Secrecy seems to be the order of the day. I mean, we've had a whole week of uncovering the dreadful super injunction that was imposed on us by Grant Shapps, so that none of us could ever find out about all these Afghan migrants that were being shipped in. It now turns out that Keir Starmer's done a deal with the European Union in which we're going to have to hand over a bucket load of money for the privilege of being told what to do about our food standards and our carbon market.
Yes, well, I mean, this deal, I think what we always need to remember, and we certainly would, who were Brexiteers, that the European Union is a very good negotiator.
Yeah.
And so what they agree is always in the small print, and that never gets the publicity. Now, of course, the deal hasn't finally been signed off, but of course, now we are getting more detail, and it's very clear that he has signed up to something that is actually making us, taking the rules from Brussels, but with no say, absolutely. And this is part of his strategy and the Labour government strategy to slowly move back into the European Union, because it won't be very long before some people, Labour government, will be saying, well, hang on, if we're going to do this and we're going to pay, then maybe we'd be better just going back in. And I think that is the real aim. And I think, Brexiteers and people who even they didn't vote to leave, have accepted we left, and I think many of them will find this quite cynical that this is the way now we're operating.
Very cynical, because people worry as well that it's not so much as they're being open about it, because you're quite right, they want to sort of sneak back in through the back door. I mean, presumably Starmer doesn't want to have another referendum, although there was a time when he did. I mean, what's the constitutional situation here? At what point can we say to the government, hang on a minute, we voted to leave the European Union. You can't just keep, mission creeping back.
Well, I think that's right, because more and more, if we find that we are really going into what's called dynamic alignment, everything the European Union does, we have to follow, then to me, that is us back in. Of course, even paying money in, and we've no idea how much they're going to charge us for allowing us to have the same standards. And the irony is, of course, the ridiculousness is that we already, between the European Union and us, just automatically have more or less the same standards. But what they don't want is us to be able to go off on our own and do things that are going to make us more competitive. So I hope that, the courts these days seem to want to get involved in everything. Yeah. So perhaps at some stage there will be an opportunity to actually say, look, this is not what people voted for. And he would not go for another referendum. No, you're quite right on that. But he did argue for it very, very strongly when he was in Parliament. He's responsible. The Prime Minister is responsible more than anyone else in Parliament, apart from perhaps Hilary Benn. The two of them were totally responsible for the 3 years of terrible delay, which cost us so much in terms of getting a good deal eventually and making people feel very frustrated. It was shocking.
Yeah, it really was. And so in terms of what they could do next, I mean, they've done this food standards alignment. They're now doing carbon markets and trying to make some kind of green alignment as well. What else could they do next? I mean, what would they go for next, do you think? I mean, they've talked about defence, I suppose, haven't they?
Yeah, well, of course, they're already moving closer in terms of defence, and no one objects to cooperation in between European countries. But I mean, we do not want to get ourselves tied into a European kind of army that would actually not allow our own generals and so on to be absolutely in charge. I mean, we still have to see NATO, whatever the problems, as the crucial, deterrent and body that is going to protect us. So they could move more on that. But I think what he's doing is that he obviously loves being abroad and meeting all these leaders. Yeah. Bringing them in. He's gradually going around them. He's clearly decided that France and Germany are the two countries that he wants to become totally tied in with. Right. And who knows the details of some of the deals he's signing, even with Germany yesterday.
Yeah.
It's all a big mystery. And while he's playing around being a foreign, wanting to be this great, seen as this great international diplomat, the country's kind of falling to pieces, and he's bringing in ridiculous things like votes at 16 to hide it all up.
It is ridiculous. In fact, let's play a little clip, because if you can make head nor tail of what this treaty is, you're a better man than I am, as they say. Check this out.
It's a privilege to have you here today, particularly to sign this Kensington Treaty, which is a very special treaty because it's the first of its kind ever, if you can believe it, between our two countries. Yeah. And I see it very much as evidence of the closeness of our relationship as it stands today, the strength of our values, the strength of our joint approach, but also very much as a statement of intent, a statement of our ambition to work ever more closely together, the closest of allies, and whether that's on defence, security, trade, the economy, energy, covers so much in this treaty. And so this is a really historic signing of a historic agreement.
It's an historic agreement. It's a statement of intent. It's a statement of ambition. What is it?
It's just, I mean, all I heard
rubbish,
from
isn't it?
Yeah, all I heard from it was that they were going to sort of raid a few warehouses in Germany to try and stop, boats being built that were bringing migrants. It is, but he clearly feels more comfortable in those kind of situations than talking about what's happening to people's living standards, and actually talking about the boats issue as such. It was quite. I don't know who he's going to see now. I suppose Trump will be the next one, but he won't get away with quite the same.
Well, no, because he won't. He's very shy around Trump, isn't he? He doesn't like to upset him, so he kind of creeps around him.
And of course, he's made sure that Trump is not going to get the opportunity to address Parliament.
Yeah, which is shocking in itself, actually, to be honest. I mean, here he is.
Well, I'm surprised Trump hasn't seen it as a bit of not quite treating him in the same way that he treated Macron.
Yeah, no, I'm amazed that Trump hasn't. Maybe he just hasn't been paying attention. But as soon as he finds out, he's not going to be happy, is he?
He might discover it the day before and pull out.
Exactly right. This is great to talk to you, Baroness Kate Hoey, there, independent peer and ex-Labour MP.